Now let us save and execute this code. There we have our label saying hi. That is pretty awesome. We can also place our label anywhere on the screen by using highLabel.grid function, which we'll see in a moment. For now, let us create a button that would destroy our window. So the syntax is, as you can see, capital BUTTON, and then text saying click me, and command is master.destroy. So that master, which is our screen, would get destroyed. Again, quit button.pack is simply a syntax so that we can see the button on screen as we saw just now. Now there are various parameters that we can pass in button and label, like background, foreground, active foreground, and so on. So let us put our background as red, foreground as black, and now test it. We have our red button right there, which closes the window obviously. Now active background. Active background is interesting. When you click the button, what color should it show? So for now let us say active background black and active foreground as white, so that the text would become white and background black. There we see it. Now let us put some title to our window. Suitable title would be first GUI. Okay. Execute it. We can't see the title yet because the window is too small. Once you increase the size, you are able to see it. So let us predefine the size of our screen. That is done by master.geometry. Let us say 500 into 500. So now the window would be bigger. There it is. Let us change the pack function to grid so that we can easily adjust the position of our objects on screen. So it is just like an Excel file where you have row first and then column. You have to define on which row number and which column number is the object positioned. Also, we are making a frame here. Frame is nothing but a child of our master screen. It can be placed in any one of rows and columns and can fit a lot of objects in it. It is like a secondary window. So we have placed it on row 0 and column 0. That means at the top left corner of our screen. And we are putting label and button. No, we can put button outside of the frame in our master window and the label in the frame. Also, let us add some more functions inside our frame window. So we have this entry where you can type in anything and get the values that the user has given. We'll keep a little bigger font, but you should play around with all these parameters so that you know it better. Again, we place it inside of the frame on row 1 and column 0. In the secondary screen, which is inside of our master frame, sitting at the top left corner. We can also ask for age. Again, another entry. Never forget to pack the object. Pack in the sense to use the grid function, pack function, or place function so that you'll be able to see it on screen. Otherwise, you won't be able to see it. Another entry that is for contact and so on. So we have our form here. Also, we want the user to know what exactly he has to fill in the entries. So let us put some labels before our entries so that the user would know what he has to fill in. First is the name label. The text is important here so that the user can see what he has to fill inside the text box which we have provided. For me, I believe that labels should get left position relative to the entries that we are providing, which you'll see in a bit why I say so. Also keep the font consistent so that you don't have dangling alphabets. Some are big, some are small. It shouldn't be so. Now all the three labels are complete: name, age, and contact. Now if we execute it, I think font is correct, and now if we execute it we should see, okay, there is some problem with contact label is by mistake an entry, so replacing it with label. There we go. On the left hand side we have our labels, and on the right we have the entries that the user yourself can fill. Click it and destroy the window. Awesome, amazing. Now let us make a submit button. By clicking that, we'll be able to retrieve the information that the user has provided. Here I am writing command is equal to get it, but remember that it is not yet defined. We are going to define the command that we are providing. Never forget to grid them in our screen. Now here we are going to define our function get it that we have used for our submit button. We have to get the data from all the entries. So the entries that we have is name, that is the variable for the entry that we used while taking the name. Second is age. Third one is contact. As you saw, there was a cut in the video. I was trying something which is not working. So don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to make it work. All that I have written above is to be ignored by you. I'll show you what you have to do. So we are making more labels so that we can show the data on top of our screen, something like this. So it is showing phone number, age, not the name. Probably the name is coinciding with another one of rows and columns. Okay, that label wasn't configured. Now it would show name also. There we go. You can also change your mobile number or write anything you want there. That's awesome. The text X looks better for closing any window. So just changing that. Here I would like to take a moment to tell you how we defined our functions. We had given the command get it. So we defined it as taking the username. Username is equal to name.get. Then we configured the label that should show the name to the input that we got from the user in the given entry for name. Then we told the code to go to the next definition, that is age it. In age it, we took the age of the user which he provided and configured the label that was made for the age to be written. Then we asked our code to move to the next definition, mobit, MOBIT, which gets the contact information from the entry provided and configures the corresponding label to the mobile number provided by the user. This is how our getIt command is working to change all the labels and define what the information was given to us on our screen using the three labels. Now what we can do is we can write previous user information there so that whenever a new user comes on the program and adds his data, he'll be able to see who came right before him. So we'll make a label saying that the given data is of the previous user. Previous user would be a label in our frame. Again, we have to keep the font consistent. All the rows will have to be shifted so that we can add this previous user label somewhere at the top. There we have it. The name, age and phone number written as in front of previous user. Changing the screen size so that everything fits in. That looks much better. If the next user comes and gives his data and presses done, the data is changed. Now the previous user is somebody else. Each time a new person comes up, the data is changed. Previous user changes.